It is 102.7 WMOM and Hot Country Hits 99.9. Last week, we had a chance to talk with the president and CEO of West Shore Bank, Ray Biggs. He is back on this week as we talk about 2.0. We had this past weekend, the Monsters of Yacht. They performed, and it was an absolutely incredible show. This Saturday, another great show coming up at Waterfront Park as part of the West Shore Bank Rhythm and Dunes concert series, and it's Klay N The Mud. Before we dive into that concert, Ray, we want to welcome you to the show again. Thanks for being a part of the conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having me on today, Chris. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about this past Saturday. It was cloudy through the day, but people still came out. There was a lot of people there, and I don't know if you have a chance to walk around and do some sort of account or that, but I had somebody come up to me and they said, "There's a lot of people out there," and I said to them, normally I walk around the outer edge to just kind of gauge that. But I told them, I said, it's all the way back to where the boats are. And they were shocked. They were new to the Ludington area to see the concert. And it was a pretty good feeling to see so many community members come out and watch the show.
It was great. The weather turned out wonderful. The clouds cleared away and the fog, and I'm not sure what that was all about. Couldn't tell if there was any smoke mixed into there that we've been having from those wildfires up in Canada, but
Yeah.
ended up being an amazing evening, and it was the weather turned out wonderful, and of course that led into a great Sunday around here as well. So
One of the things that I was not necessarily surprised by, but it exceeded my expectations. The dance floor, right in front, it started to up after the first second song, and people were dancing throughout. Seen that in this genre of music with the with with the yacht rock. Wasn't sure going in, but they were.
yeah, I was wondering how the yacht rock equivalent was going to get people onto the dance floor, but it worked, and you could leave it to the crowd to have fun, and that's what they did. They had and then we enjoyed that. There's a lot of positive reinforcement just watching everybody have a great evening. So
Absolutely. The band's LHS comes up this weekend prior to Klay N The Mud. This past weekend, it was Mason County Central, the jazz band that was performing. We saw students from Mason County Eastern there as well, raising funds. This all goes to a great cause, and it has for nearly 13 years. As we talked about last week, I think it would be important to kind of revisit that so that if anybody missed our segment from last week or they're encouraged to come down this Saturday. This is a huge fundraiser for these area bands. Is that correct?
yeah, if it's not the biggest thing they do to raise money, it's got to be right up there with the top two things. But that's a cash intensive course of study band, and it's parent supported, so it takes a lot of effort. It's pay for instruments, pay for music, pay for lots of things that they have inside. In this case, it'll be Peterson Auditorium. So when you're there later in the next school year, there's always something new they've been able to purchase or support someone that doesn't have the capacity to pay for their own instrument. It goes and gets used a number of ways, which we're happy to be part of. But that's the community. That's community dollars. That's the donations. Um, Probably important to give a little bit of a shout out to the food vendors, the food trucks that are there. They donate some money just to be there. They give us a little bit of money, and that goes directly towards that fund. So just remember, all those food vendors, support them because they've had to pay just to be there, and we appreciate them showing up. This last, I got to give a shout out to all of them. They're great, right? Crave was there, Aloha. Hawaiian Shade Days, Cluck Bucket. Everyone knows about Cluck Bucket. Leela's Original Kettle Corn, been around for a long time. R&T's Colossal Kitchen, the Wiener Wagon, TC Taco, and the Underground Cookie Club. Boy, if you didn't get a chance to do that, You got to check out the Underground Cookie Club. That was amazing, and pizza from the Wooden Paddle. I mean, I had a chance to sample a few of those items, and I mean, you can come down and have a full dinner and dessert, and bring the whole family down.
Absolutely, and we saw people doing that right away. You know, when I was on the stage and I looked out and I was talking about the food trucks. People were raising up their items that they had just got from the parking lot and to eat there, and so that was pretty neat to see that. If you are just joining us, we're talking with Ray Biggs from West Shore Bank, CEO and president there, and as Ray had mentioned, it's an environment and it's an experience. You've got the food trucks out in the parking lot. You've got the students as part of the band that's performing out front. That's leading into the headliners, which this Saturday, Klay N The Mud, they'll be performing. And coming up on tomorrow's show, we'll actually be talking with the band members and talking a little bit about this pop rock, these favorites that you're going to know. Again, Ray, people were, as I was roaming around, people were like, I can't wait till next Saturday. And to have that excitement, that's a good lead up for this week for you.
Yeah, people really enjoyed the whole yacht rock scene. I'd call that more of like music from the '70s, maybe a little bit of early '80s, but fun, great music to listen to, relax. And this next band, they do a wide range of pop rock, classics, top 40. Lots of music to dance to. I'm sure I'm looking at an example set list. They've got Bon Jovi, and they've got some stuff here from Joan Jett, Huey Lewis. Let's see, ABBA, the Romantics, the Killers, AC/DC. I mean, they're a ton of good music. So, and I hear they've got kind of a broader vocal setup. They've got two folks that take lead vocals, so it's a wider range of music. So that should be good.
Absolutely, and looking forward to that. A couple of female voices as part of the mix to get up there and bring really everything that you can imagine for a summertime concert at Waterfront Park. Again, it's August 2nd. It's this Saturday. You know, one of the other things that we noticed at Waterfront Park was. The team from Todd and Brad Reed Photography, Rachel Gaudette was there with her
Mhm.
360 camera. And when chatting with her, she says, this is absolutely for free for anybody that wants to come up and get their photo or their video taken, as it would be. And it's pretty cool technology, but you're offering that too.
Yeah, yeah, it's right there. So if you're on the stage and you're looking out, or I guess let's take it this way: if you're looking at the stage, it would be stage left.
Mhm.
Yeah, for,
Yeah.
for the crowd that's there. Yeah.
And so when you are there this Saturday, for anybody that's out there, just go on over there and you just stand in the middle and you have that camera that zips around you and you get that digital file that you can share on your social media pages and everything else, because it is nice to be able to interact with a lot of folks that are not only local to the area, but also when we were talking about how far did you travel to Ludington to just be in Ludington or go to the concert. And one particular person, when we got up to about the 400 or 500 mile distance, she kept raising her hand, and I finally said, "Where are you from?" And she said, "Massachusetts." So it was really neat to see how
Yeah.
far that people were coming from to experience not only the Ludington area but take in a great concert too.
Yeah, for sure. It's we start setting things up on Friday morning, and people are putting out chairs, and so we've got our staff there, and people will ask us questions. Some people are just walking through the park and they're on vacation; they didn't know anything about it, and then they come back, or they'll come right back and put a chair down, there'll be a lot of walk-ins that didn't know was going to happen.
Yeah. And the beach balls that are bouncing through the air. Everybody's having a great time there. And we really noticed, and you and I talked a little bit about this last week, the different age ranges that were dancing right there, that were singing the songs because they recognized them through either living through that era or we talk about social media a lot. We talk about songs reappearing on the radio charts,
Mhm.
and I think this Saturday is going to be no different. You're gonna be able to see that environment repeat itself.
Yeah, for sure. It's a definitely a family affair. We've got people from my age and older. I'm not getting any younger. Down to we got kids running around the playground. Enjoying that, and full families in the back enjoying some time with. We've got moms and dads, grandkids together. So it's a fantastic evening.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to it. So our big invite is to those that are listening and viewing to be able to take this in. It's August 2nd. It's Klay N The Mud. There's going to be a lot of energy that you're going to see on stage. They are you have scouted these groups out. This particular group played in the area, and you're like, hey, we need to have them on stage, and so that's going to be good to be able to see that bands can come back to Ludington in different environments and different settings. And when you have, again, 4 to 7,000 people there,
Mhm.
it's pretty cool for these bands.
It really is. This is one of the bigger venues. A lot of those bands get a chance to play in front of. A lot of them play inside clubs, and they're not holding several thousand. They're holding several hundred in some cases. But yeah, I think playing the Mud had played at Sticks, and it was a real good show. And we had some people that went to it and said this would be a great band to bring back to a bigger venue. And it appeals to a lot of folks. That's the key is to find music that it appeals to a large group of people, and then everyone comes out and has a good time.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, a couple more questions for you, if I could. When you are, and I asked this last time, but now that it's really fresh on your mind, that night, the next day, even on Monday, any sort of feedback that you received from this past Saturday's concert that makes it, well worth continuing to put on an event like this? Maybe it was from those that were spectators, maybe band members, family. What sort of feedback, if you did get any?
And we got a lot, quite a bit today. It's funny during the concert itself. We get a lot of feedback, and there are a lot of customers. And a lot of customers, something comes to mind that they wanted to talk to us about. I mean, I spent a couple hours this morning following up on some phone calls, with conversations I had with customers, and things that we can do for them or help them with. So, anytime you have a chance to connect, and for us, we've got a lot of not everyone in the crowd is our customer, but they should be. At least that should be our goal. Teasing a little bit, but I think I do know on Facebook, and whether it be on X or let's see, on LinkedIn, we had a lot of people make comments, positive comments about it. A lot of people wanting to know about the next week concert coming back into town. We have folks coming off the Badger that wanted to know about the concert. So it's anytime we can make downtown Ludington busy on a Saturday night, and because it spans such a large time frame, and doesn't go too late. Like I said last week, it a lot of restaurants and people buying beer. You can bring beer in, just don't bring cans, don't bring glass. I think that's one of the key things.
Yeah.
But people bring that in, and they have dinner before, and then afterwards they wander off to a restaurant or to some of the bars we have up there on James Street and other places. So they really enjoy it, and the business said it was great.
Yeah, that's great to hear that. And there was a lot of people there. We're expecting, and when we say a lot of people, it's still a very comfortable environment. You're sitting next to other people that spark up a conversation with that you might not know, or you see groups of family members and friends that kind of scout out a spot to make sure that they're ready and they have the best seats. Last week, we had a chance to congratulate Karen and Jerry. I remember their names because it was really neat. I talked about this on the radio on the morning show. Is she waved at me to come over, and I came over to her, and she said, 10 years ago on this day, that she was they were both at the Rhythm and Dunes concert, and the announcer congratulated them on their 50th wedding anniversary. And they said, today it's 60. And so we had a chance to announce that throughout the venue. people clapping and cheering. And we do see that. We see birthdays and anniversaries and celebrations and a big. I mean, you have a captive family there to celebrate with you for these events and happenings.
Yeah, sure did. I mean, we've got employees. It's their birthday, and they still sign up to volunteer. Um, Laura Holmes, school teacher here in Ludington, her birthday last Saturday. I won't talk about what year it was, but it was her birthday last Saturday. And she spent the evening having a great time. She said, "This is a great way to spend a birthday."
Yeah.
And I will say that, separate and apart from some of those special occasions, it would be important to note that the team, Margaret Carney leads this team every year, and she starts the process about a week from now. She's been here at the bank now for several years, but she leads the whole endeavor for the Rhythm and Dunes concert series and organizes everybody and pulls it all together. And she's there really from basically sun up to sundown. Sean McDonald and his team, they're handling all the setup of the stage and getting things ready, starting out, a couple of months before, and then all the employees that volunteer and spend a Saturday with us. I really it doesn't get done well if our team isn't there to volunteer, and they're giving up some precious time with family, and hopefully a lot of them bring family to the concert. But we do appreciate what our folks do, and it's really their effort. We've got 40 people that are on and off, whether it's picking up trash receptacles at the end of the night or putting them out early in the morning, and you name it, from cleaning up the park. So the next morning when the sun comes up, it doesn't look like a concert took place there, and it just looks like another morning with a beautiful park.
Yeah. And shout out to them because and you brought up a very good point, which when you see the team there, they're able to still enjoy the concert. They get to see the benefits of their hard work of setting up the banners and crowd control barriers, as you mentioned, and
Yeah,
tables and all kinds of items. But they get a chance to enjoy the concert and looking around and seeing them sing along and dancing a little bit there, but also they're able to, and I think that was very important that you brought that up, bring their family members. And
yeah,
that's very rewarding because I would assume that you kind of hang your hat on the idea that West Shore Bank is a family environment, not only for the customers, but for the employees too.
you bet. And that's what they're doing. They've got family there, and we're trying to make sure that everyone's welcome, and we do appreciate the crowd. The people that tell us thank you, and they're so appreciative. And I think that's all our folks need to hear. I mean, they
Mhm.
hear it from me, but if hearing it from the people that come to watch the show is important. And so we're thankful that the community appreciates it every time we do it.
Well, it's a great event. It's a great event supporting others. Obviously, we've talked throughout this segment and over the last couple of weeks in regards to the benefactors, which is the LHS Band, Mason County Central, and Mason County Eastern bands. MCC performed this past weekend. MCE was there helping collect donations for the programs, and
Mhm.
and one of the questions that came up was, MCC was performing, but I had a chance to talk with Matt Gilbert there by the stage, and MCE starts their program, their music, the band program, when school starts, so they'll be able to get a chance to perform throughout the year. But they were very much part of Saturday's event, and that was really cool for them, for the students, and for the band directors and such. LHS this Saturday, they're going to be performing at 6 p.m. Food trucks again open at 5 p.m. And the headliner, Klay N The Mud, will be on stage at 7 p.m. and perform for 2.5 hours or so, which is a
Yeah.
pretty good concert.
Yeah, and without an intermission in some cases. I can't remember if this group is going to take an intermission, so I don't want to speak to that because I'm not sure of that one. But it's a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
I think that having the high school bands there, I think in this case it'll be LHS.
Mhm.
Keith Kaczynski will have his group there, and he's usually got them all tuned up and ready. They have band camp, I believe, this week, so the kids are going to be busy working. 5 days in a row, kept trying to get their football halftime music ready. That's for sure. So they'll be busy, and I think occasionally he's got alumni that shows up as well. So
and they'll bring the energy. They always do. So looking forward to it. $137,000 raised over the last 13 years. You're already above that mark based on last Saturday's event. This Sunday, we want to add to that and hopefully surpass the 20,500 mark that was generated in last year's two concert series. So let's put the challenge out to the community. Once again, like we did last week, you can donate and tell me if I missed one here, but obviously cash donations during the concert, you can scan a QR code and donate, and then obviously go to the westshorebank.com website to donate too. Is there other ways? I think the app, right?
you could use the West Shore Bank app that we have. So those existing customers, you can make a donation if you're using our app. That's relatively easy. I did it on Saturday, so it's called West Shore Bank Touch. It's a good app. It's fantastic. We get a lot of compliments on it. So easy to, and there's a lot of other things you can donate to as well. If you're there, you can always round up or do things that are unique. We use an entity called Spiral that helps us make that easy and track it. Especially gifts. I mean, people sometimes want to track, who they don't donate to for tax reasons. That's you're able to do that all through our app.
All right, looking forward to it. And looking forward to seeing everybody out. We've already checked the weather forecast, knock on wood, that it looks better than what we even saw this past Saturday. Sunshine all day and looking at the mid 70s, cooling down into the 60s, obviously, for the evening hours.
I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like, other than maybe tomorrow, the chance of storms, it looks like high mid 70s and low in the upper 50s. So it looks like perfect Michigan summertime weather, or warm days and cool nights. So should be, knock on wood. I hope it's fantastic.
Yep, looking forward to it. Well, we want to thank you, Ray. It is incredible what your team does. Again, I'm glad you gave a shout out to Margaret, because that's been one of our point of contacts for keeping us on track in regards to scheduling interviews and the bands and copy points and all of that good stuff. But your team really does an incredible job, and we look forward to being a part of this concert each and every year.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. We appreciate you having you, and thanks for taking the time on Saturday to be there to MC the event. That's special. We appreciate that, and let's look forward to another fantastic weekend Saturday. Different kinds of music, a little more upbeat, I suspect, but I'm excited about Saturday.
All right, we are as well. Klay N The Mud coming up this Saturday, August 2nd, as part of the West Shore Bank Rhythm and Dunes concert series, Take Two, the second of the two concert dates here in Ludington at Waterfront Park. It's a free concert wherever you can hear us, wherever you can view this video. Well, make it a trip to Ludington this Saturday and be a part of it all. Ray, thanks for being a part of the conversation again today.
You bet. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
Yes. It is 102.7 Mom FM and Hot Country Hits 99.9. If you missed any part of this segment, you can watch it right there on our Facebook pages, the WMOM and the Hot Country Hits Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel. Check that out. Hit the subscribe button, and again, follow us along with all of the conversations that we have and the events and activities going on in the Ludington area. It's 102.7 Mom FM and